Dalhousie Dentistry. I just love alliteration. Students at the Halifax University have posted profoundly sexist and offensive Facebook posts about sexual assault and have now been suspended, which means they can't graduate. That's a big deal. Now, their actions are repugnant, but is the punishment fitting, and are some crimes worse than others? Rachel Siegel is in our Vancouver studio, which is pretty clever of her because it's very cold in Toronto, but she's back next week. Now, let's talk about what was posted here, because this wasn't a gentle ribbing. It was pretty bad stuff, wasn't it?
No, absolutely. It was very graphic, very sexually heightened rhetoric. They said specifically, which classmate would you like to have sex with?
Hate F, yes.
They also talked about banging until your stress has been relieved. There was a comment about using chloroform, which would knock women out. And these comments are just, so repulsive coming from these students who are not undergraduate students, Michael. We're not talking about, 18-year-olds that have just come to campus, and not that it would be correct in that capacity either, but these are people who are going to be doctors very soon. They are
dentists. Then they'll be dentists.
But they'll be referred to as, doctor.
I know they will. I just always, as much as dentists are great and all that, but you're making a very good point. How old are they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are people that have undergraduate degrees, right. So they're at least 22, 23 years old. There are heightened admission requirements to get into these programs. I have a law degree. I'm currently working on my Master's of Law as well. So I've now done 2 professional development programs in my life. I have to say that, I'm highly aware that my professional conduct is closely monitored. In Ontario recently, the Ontario College of Dental Surgeons asked that the names of these 13 students who were suspended be released. Now, when I'm talking about my own experience, I know that the Law Society, for example, is watching me, and that when I write the bar and become part of that bar association, I'm going to be held at a higher standard. When we talk about these guys, this is a licensing program that they're fully aware of when they start this dental program.
Let me interrupt you for a moment, because with lawyers, it is understandable. It's the legal system. You are defending people. You are at the very epicenter of the battle between right and wrong. Who should go to prison, who shouldn't, who should be convicted, who shouldn't. It's a little different with dentistry. However, I believe the arguments remain pretty much the same. You made a good point. It is always wrong. If a kid is 18 or 19, you might say, you are a complete moron, and there'll be a consequence here, but we're going to give you another chance. These guys, and we'll get to guys in a few moments, have finished 1 degree. They've gone on to dentistry. They're specializing. In terms of gender, and I've never done a study of this, but it does seem to me, as I'm thinking, that the vast majority of dentists I've met have been men. Is it dominated by men?
I'm not totally sure what the makeup is. I would assume that a lot of these programs are highly made up of men. There are a lot of female students as well. Okay. And obviously that's who the comments were being made about.
The comments are offensive. I don't think there's any point in debating that. They're offensive. It's not, well, they were just having fun or freedom of speech. No, this is going too far. They were wrong. It's what should happen to them. If they're suspended and can't graduate, that can be years of study, huge amounts of money, and their future completely jeopardized. Is that really appropriate punishment?
Michael, I would argue that having them miss another semester of school might allow them some time to perhaps mature a little bit and think about what they had done. I also want to point out, you talk about, the law being this moral compass, but if one of my classmates while I was in law school had posted something like this about me online, I would have felt very uncomfortable as a female in a professional program coming to work every day. And they have been suspended from their clinical work because of that professionalism standard, not only with patients, but also their fellow students. So, allowing these female dentistry students to work in an environment where they feel comfortable amongst their male peers.
It was an academic who initiated the complaint, wasn't it?
Yes, it was four professors at Dalhousie University who have called for their suspension. A lot of people, a lot of women's groups are actually protesting, asking for their expulsion. To me, expulsion goes a little bit too far. I think that, you know, these guys are at the end of their training. They've invested time, they've invested money, and not that that is an excuse for what they have done, but I think that, you know, allowing them to graduate while taking a little bit of time off.
Oh, you're such a softie, Rachel. You're such a no. They should be publicly. No, they should be publicly disemboweled. Of course they should. Look, what you said, women's groups going a bit too far. Please, what do you expect? It's what they do. I mean, it's their shtick. They go too far. I mean, everything to them is a war crime. No, I mean, you're quite right. I think suspension for 1 semester. No, it's going to cost them some money. Sorry, guys, shouldn't have been idiots. It might cost Mummy and Daddy some money. Well, maybe Mummy and Daddy will then be very angry with you. But they do need to be punished, but it has to be reasonable punishment. I don't understand. We've got 4 kids, 3 of them, the two boys who've gone past this age now, or at this age, they might do some silly things, but they just wouldn't do this. I don't understand people's mentality, A, to think it, B, to be so stupid to make it public, knowing there could be consequences.
Exactly. And as we say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I think that what Dalhousie did today was the correct move in suspending these 13 guys. It'll be interesting to find out whether or not they'll allow them to start classes. They're scheduled to start on January 12th, and a decision on that is coming forward in the next couple of days as well.
Well, once again, I think the punishment should fit the crime. Of course, we could just have them have to be victim patients for dental students without anaesthetic. Hey, always a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
Bye.